Hello, everybody. It is Wednesday. Hello, Jennifer. How are you? Great to have you here tonight. Great to have you with us. How is everybody's Wednesday? It is Hump Day. It is Hump Day. Hey, Tamika. Great to have you here today. Great to have you here today. Adele and Dazzle are here. Adele and Dazzle are in the house. Great to have you here tonight, everybody. Tell me about your day. What are you all grateful for? What are you all grateful for? Tell me about it. Hey, Rick. Good to have you here. Good to have you all here. Tell me about your Wednesday. It is Hump Day. Hello, Vina. Great to have you here live. Sarah's here live? Sarah live? Wow. Great to have you here, Sarah. It is Hump Day. Oh my God. That kid. And he probably is ready to go fishing again. I mean, Brady is amazing. I mean, Jennifer, that's stuff you should worry about. For all the things you worry about, Jennifer, that boy is the stuff you should worry about. He's a good kid. He's a good kid. He is. I'm retired from fishing. I'm a retired fisherman. My last fishing license was in Kentucky. There, I even know where I have it. I am hopeful, Kelly. Great to have you with us. Welcome, Albuquerque in the house. A great planning session for Q1. That's what I'm talking about, Tamika, and we're gonna have a good mental note on that tonight. Yes, please stop the death scroll on Facebook, Kitty, and I'm going to talk about that tonight, too. Oh, well, you know, Jennifer, don't you like to be the first for things for a doctor? You know, when the doctor says, wow, I've never seen a fish hook stuck there. Aren't you glad your son is the first? Well, Jennifer's son Brady got a fish hook stuck in his eye lid. Oh, that's great, Vina. We had talked about her starting. I'm so thrilled that she's on board. Billy! Billy's in the house from Resale World. Billy, my friend, it has been a while since I have talked with you live. It is great to have you here tonight representing the Resale World crew. Thanks for hopping on. We appreciate all you have been doing for everybody all the time, but even more so during this pandemic. The partners and affiliates of NARTS like Resale World have just been amazing. Patty, how are you? Oh, that's wonderful, Kelly. I'm glad you're able to pass that knowledge forward. You know, we're going to help. Like I say every night, we're helping everybody. Butcher, baker, candlestick maker, bookmaker too. Hey, you know, I'll help the bookmaker too. If we need to help the bookie get through to the other side, we're going to help the bookie. But don't go playing hooky. Yes, I am better news. I like to think that I am better news than CNN, MSN, and Fox. So turn those off and turn off the noise and tune in. I've got better stuff for you tonight. I've got better stuff for you. I do. Yes, everybody needs help. Butcher, baker, candlestick maker, bookie. The bookies need help too. Yvonne, I'm more the appointed guy. I'm the guy. you know, there's lots of good people in there. I don't know that I have the, you know, I don't want to shake people down for money the way that you have to shake down, you know, $500 million on the Georgia election. I mean, that's just ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. You know what good that could do just in Georgia? If you had an extra $500 million to give to the schools, if you had an extra $500 million to give to community organizations, it's just nuts. It's just nuts. People wanted me to be first selectman in our town. I'm, you know, a funny story that some of you know and everything. In the little town that we actually live in, you know, a bunch of years ago, they wanted to put a CVS in, and it was a big deal in town. We had a little pharmacy and everything in town, and a little community pharmacy that wasn't that different than my father's growing up and everything, and we had that in town, and it was a big to-do. Everybody wanted to gang up against the CVS, and it was probably the biggest town meeting we had had in the town, and it was funny because, you know, Cassandra and Nana sent off, you know, we're like, well, you have to go stop this. You have to stop this and save our little pharmacy. And you have to go to the meeting and tell them no. And that was my marching orders. And I tend to follow direction pretty well. And, you know, I went to the meeting, and it was over, it was a long meeting, and it was a long zoning commission meeting, and I was surprised that they actually voted on that night, and it did get voted down. And, you know, I got home that night, and they were all, what happened, and I'm like, oh, it got voted down. Well, did you get up and speak? And I'm like, yeah, I said a couple of things, nothing big. You know, not a big deal, and everything. And I came home the next day, and Nana's like, I thought you didn't say much. And I'm like, I didn't say much. And she had the newspaper, and on the cover of the newspaper was my face, and it said, "Not in our town." And I became the poster child for that. For stopping CVS from coming into our little town, because you know, you had a lot of townsfolk spoke at this meeting and were very emotional and everything else, and I stood up and I'm just like, boom, boom, boom. These are the actual legal reasons why you can deny this application. Boom, 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 and here's the facts, and you know. They got voted down, but that we were the Nana got great service every time she went into the pharmacy from then forward. Not that we didn't get good service before, because I had helped the owner of the pharmacy many times with different things, because that's what we do. We help everybody along. Yeah, Kitty, the emails begging for money for Georgia were crazy. It's funny. I still keep my my mother's email, which was actually a joint email between my mother and father, and they had a shared account, and they had different political leanings, Republican and Democrat, and so that email has been getting flooded from both sides, looking for money and everything else. It's been crazy. But we'll talk about it a tiny bit, but we'll talk about it in a better light. Let's get this program started. So let's get this program started. We start every night with the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book is how we start this program every night. Tonight is no different. We're getting started on page 72 tonight, if you are following along. Well, you know, this is probably a good one for today. Things may never be like this again. That could be good news or bad news to you, but it's true nonetheless. Good morning. There is your good morning for today. There is your good morning. Okay, so let's start with politics and get that out of the way. First, we hope for peace and calm, okay, and calm heads prevailing in Washington is first and foremost. We want peace, okay? Violence doesn't get you anywhere. Doesn't advance anything or any causes, and we need peace. And I pray that everyone is safe. We know people that are there, that we know officers that are there. I know people, members of Congress that are there. We just want everybody to be safe and calm, and let's turn down the volume on that a little bit. The other political thing I need to talk about briefly, okay, again briefly, because I do not want this to, I don't want to be in competition with CNN, Fox, and MSN for ratings tonight. Is that, you know, the control of the Senate has technically shifted, okay? So now because both Georgia races went to the Democrats, we will have the Democrats will hold the majority in all the houses of government. They hold the presidency, the House, and the Senate. And I've had a lot of concern from people about that's going to have some very bad anti-business, anti-growth things will get passed because they control all of this. And I want to remind you with that, if you historically look at times when there have been one-party control in theory, okay, they don't get everything they want. You still have to work with both sides. You have to work with people. You have to bring people together. You don't have to agree with everybody, but you got to be able to have a conversation with them. You got to be able to sit down and have a hot dog and a beer and talk about things. And that's not, you know, old political, if people just went out for a drink together type things. It is, you've got to be able to get together. You have to be able to sit, talk, and everything else, and have a conversation. Hey, Rose, good to have you. And you're right. Don't back down despite all our obstacles. Don't curl up in a ball. It'd be so easy to do that. That's the easy thing. But there are lots of good people there. There are lots of good people on both sides of the table. You need both sides to get things done. It is not going to ram a legislation through that is, you know, terrible for the American people any more than the Republicans did it when they were in power. Okay, there was all this talk and you know, Obamacare is going away and it's totally gone and all this now that we're in control. And that just didn't happen, okay, as one example of something that was a high talking point for Republicans, okay? And so all the Democrats' talking points of all the things that they would do if they didn't need the other side, but it's not that kind of thing. It's not that they have 70 votes in the Senate. It's not that they have a wide margin in the House, okay? And, you know, you need people, you have to bring people together, and you need people on both sides to talk, to hash things out, and to agree. So there'll be no massive shove of agenda. The biggest thing that I think will happen in the short run, if from a political, you know, that will affect your world from the Democrats controlling both the House and the Senate, is I think you will see a bill pass to raise the stimulus checks to $2,000. I think that'll be the single biggest thing that you see happen. They'll probably get some money through for cities, states, and towns, But the biggest thing, you will see a simple bill go through for the increase in the checks to $2,000. I think that'll be the short-term thing. They still have to get through they still have to fight the virus. Okay, we still have to do a lot of work on the virus, and we still have to government that you need to seat all of Biden's cabinet. Okay, they have to get approved by the Senate, and that is not just an instantaneous process because they have a majority now. There will still be hearings, there will still be confirmation hearings, there'll still be votes, and that all takes time. And historically, that can go on for several months of a new administration, even in good times. So that's going to be, those couple things are what's going to be occupying the air in the room, for lack of a better term. You know, is it a good thing? Yes, Kelly, it's a good thing. I mean, at the point that it's going to happen, it's a good thing. Okay, I'm not saying, you know, you're talking about another $150 billion or so, and I don't mean to diminish that or take that lightly, that kind of money is small. It's real money, but right now you can't put enough gas on the economy, okay? That this will make the difference in people, and it is something that this country and this economy will have to reckon with and get under control, but now is not the time to worry about that, because that $1,400 extra, okay, you know, because the $600 are already out there or in the process of getting out there. The extra $1,400 is really not a big deal in the whole scheme of the budget and everything else that's getting spent on. And it will get directly into you'll see that coming into your store. You'll see that money coming into your store, and that's more important right now than the debt that's created by it, especially with interest rates at historic lows. So the government is borrowing money at historic lows. And if we can recharge the economy, that'll go away. And, you know, if the government did it another way and did it without borrowing, where they just printed it, which they can technically do, they are unlikely to do that. They're more likely. Battery is back. Battery's back. Okay, I should be back now. Do I get thumbs up? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? How am I doing now, guys? Sound? Am I back? I got audio. I am told that, hey, I see the hearts. So what I was saying there is that in the short run, I expect you to see the stimulus payment get approved, okay, which will be good for the economy and good for your stores, okay, and I expect you to get a bill that promotes money for cities, towns, states virus vaccine distribution money, that type of thing. I expect money for that to pass Congress. The only other thing I expect to happen is to work on Biden's nominees for his cabinet and such. So, you know, those of you that are like, the Democrats are going to pass all this stuff and we're going to have wage laws that take effect on March 1st that increase the minimum wage to $15. I've heard all sorts of crazy stuff today. None of that's going to happen. But you need both sides to come together on it. Otherwise, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen when any one party's in power. So, and there are lots of good things that come from that. And, you know, even when you disagree with these people, even when you disagree, with their decisions, sometimes their decisions come from a good place. I remember sitting once with a congressman, and I told this story earlier tonight to my peanut gallery that had some questions. But I sat with this congressman once, and we were talking about, and I can't even remember what the tax or what the fee was on business that we were discussing. That was really screwing, you know. It was, how do I come up with the money to pay for that? Okay, I'm a small business. How do we as business owners come up with that money to pay that? You know, I mean, it's just big government getting bigger and everything else. And, you know, the congressman was like, yeah, I get where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from. That really kind of screwed you. But I had to vote yes on that because that money, I said, when I sat with a family in a homeless shelter and they were getting food there, this is paying for that. So, yeah, I understand you don't know where that money's going to come from, and I sort of screwed you with it, but that's what it's going to. And, you know, there's good intentions even with bad consequences. Hey, Julie Jenkowitz, it's great to have you here. Hope Dan is feeling... So I'm going to leave politics there for right now. The best is yet to come. That is where I'm going with it, is the best is yet to come. Our best days are not behind us. For ourselves, for our business, for our communities, or for our country. Our best days are ahead of us. So I am confident in that, and I say that not from a point of optimism, but a point of certainty. I feel certain that the best days are ahead of us, and that comes from a point of complete and total confidence. Okay, that is how I get out of bed in the morning. Well, usually there's a kick from Cassandra, but let's say it's an optimistic kick to start that day and not let the world pass you by. Not let the world pass you by is with that kick. And usually the dog wanting something. I got a couple things for you tonight, and I'm gonna... You know, I know we talk about business as a treadmill, okay? And I know a lot of you have gotten exercise equipment during this pandemic, and you know people that have gotten it as they've been stuck at home, and I know some of you got your Peloton and you're going, and you know, you're doing all this home exercising, and because you don't want to be at the gym and everything. But did you know, I mean, I thought when my doctor said, you need to go to the gym more, you need to walk more, you need to get on the treadmill. I'm like, I'm on the treadmill of life, what more do I need? But did you know, and I got this from the New York Times, did you know the treadmill was once a criminal sentence? I knew that. My peanut gallery knew that. Um, for most of human history, people didn't have to worry about they had to worry about burning too many and dying from exhaustion. Exercise as we now define it was sometimes a punishment. For more than a century, English convicts, among them Oscar Wilde, were condemned to trudge for hours a day on enormous and step-like treadmills. And in his new book, this Harvard biologist, evolutionary biologist who writes the book Exercised, explains exercising for the sake of doing so is unnatural from an evolutionary perspective. But the sedentary nature of modern life forces many people to choose between unhealthy habits and unnatural ones. As he takes you in this book through physical exertion. I love this is an old, isn't it still punishment? I thought you loved your Peloton, Jennifer. You love getting on that. Okay. At a camp, okay, where you were punished to be on the treadmill altogether. And that is circa 1850 in London, at a London prison where they were forced to be on the treadmill. So I just found that interesting, and that you want to see, now my peanut gallery wants the picture now. So I just found that interesting, that exercise is punishment. In my little bit of history find today there. So this week we have covered good to great. We have covered focusing on progress, not perfection. Focusing on progress, not perfection. And tonight, what are we going to focus on? What are we going to focus on tonight? What do you have, Neil? I need water so I can talk more. I'm going to focus on noise. Noise. Not the music coming from Brady's bedroom, you know, the radio blasting. I guess they don't blast that anymore. They wear headphones now. Of the car on the street, the noise that is in your everyday life that is stopping you from focusing on progress. Okay, when you think about your day and how how you were thankful that I came on so you could turn off all the other noise that was in your world. And it is noise, okay? I don't want you to be ignorant, so I do want you to have your 5 minutes of news. I don't want you to be on social, so I don't want you to be completely off Facebook, but I don't want it to control you. And all these things take control of your day. Facebook takes control of your day. Texting takes control of your day. On Monday, Slack, for those of you that don't use it, Slack's a team communication tool. And I know some stores use it. It's used by a lot of big companies. Okay. Slack's system went down for several hours on Monday. Okay. And when that went down, people's life got quiet. They were able to focus on things because they didn't have the constant interruptions. You know, one of the reasons I tell you all to email me is because I can control that. I can control that feed and where it works into my day to check email. Okay? When people are Facebooking me or texting me and everything, I can't control that. And you instantly think it's an emergency. So don't manage your day by texts and Facebook and email. Don't let them control your day. You need to control them and control the time when you use it. It used to be in an office you'd control when you were on the phone and you would control your phone time. But every time you stop, okay, to pick up your phone and say, oh, I just got a text, or I'm just going to send my manager a text real quick, you're interrupting their day. Most things don't need right now, okay? Most things do not need you right now, right this second. Most things you do not need to tell your manager or person working for you right now, right this second. Customers aren't an interruption, but they're a necessity, okay? And when you're in the store on the floor, that's different, okay? But when you schedule time in your day, okay, take control of the noise that surrounds you. Take control of when you respond to email, okay? Take control of when you respond to text or when your phone time of the day is, okay? When you're taking phone calls, when you're dealing with that noise, and when you interject noise into your team's world, okay? Have a controlled environment for that, a controlled way of doing it, a controlled communication system so you're not creating noise in their world and distracting them from the forward progress, okay? Progress, not perfection, that they're making for the company. It's so important because so often it is just distraction all day and they just tense up. They tense up every time their phone dings with another text or another Facebook message. You know, you all have these groups and things, and you need to have a way so that it is on their time, so that they can make a decision about when to work on that, and not as an interruption to your day and as an interruption to what you're trying to get done and the peaceful work, forward progress you're trying to make. It does distract. It does take away. Even if you just look for a second, you hear the ding of another Facebook message, or if you're even working on your desktop and a notification pops up, you gotta compartmentalize that. You can't jump on everything. You know, Rose, I know the longing for a simpler time. I mean, we are advancing. I mean, it's different. Yeah, it's evolution. I'd look at it as evolution rather than yearning for the old days. Having grown up in my father's pharmacy and working in the pharmacy business for a number of years, it is a, you know, it was different times. I mean, I remember when we went to computers at my father's pharmacy. I remember when we got touch-tone phones at his pharmacy. I mean, you know, all these various things are different times in life. But, you know, there are adaptations that we make, and I think the adaptations are important. But turning off the noise so that you control when you're doing Facebook. You control when you're turning off the notifications. So you decide when you're going to respond to email, when you're going to respond to texts. Most things do not need you right this second. And if they do, you know, there are other ways to reach you. I like that, Kitty, that the only sound you have on is for your Shopify website. I like that. I like that. That's a good notification, because I have an image of a happy Snoop, you know, character in a cartoon doing a happy dance when you hear that ding go off. It is a wonderful thing. When our postal carrier came and picked up today, she was like, "Woo, we hit the jackpot here today, didn't we?" And we had lots and lots of packages for her to pick up. Lots and lots of packages that she picked up today. which is great, including the gift that somebody bought for their 104-year-old mother. Their mother is 104, and they bought this ceramic, blue and white ceramic rocking chair, and she had to have it for her mother's 104th birthday. I am not quite sure what her mother's going to do with said rocking chair. It's not one she can sit in. It will look as a beautiful display, but I don't know what you need when you're 104. What do you buy for a person who's 104? A ceramic chair is what you buy. But she was very nervous that the daughter that bought it for her was very nervous that we pack it well and we get it off shipping and that she can track it. You know, I think she wanted to be able to track the mailman, like have a GPS tag in the package so she could watch it all the way from our warehouse to where she is in New York. But I certainly appreciated the story of the 104-year-old. So I love hearing stories like that. And there goes Kelly with her cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Yes, I can listen to that all night long. I wish. But cut out the noise, people. You will find that you're able to better focus on your progress. You will feel more accomplished at the end of the day if you block out your day with time to answer that, and when you can actually focus on it, okay? When you can give focus to the notifications on your phone, to the things that actually need your response on Facebook, to the messages that you have in your email. When you can give focus time to that and you can take control of it and decide when you're going to respond to that, it empowers you, not only empowers you, but it allows you to focus to get other things done. You will get more done in your day, and you will feel more accomplished if you phase out that noise. And that will lead to a more accomplished 2021, where you're focusing on progress, not perfection. That's what I'm talking about, people. That is what I'm talking about here. And for a quote of the day, I liked this one. This is the quote of the day that I've got here on my desk. You can't do it alone. You can't do it alone. Don't pretend you can. This video and everything I talk about here, everything I talk about, goes over to narts.org/resalestrong by noon the very next day. Noon, I'm telling you. It's all over there by noon. All the files, everything that's there, including a direct link to this show and this video on the YouTube channel. You're not alone running this store, where you can like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell so you know when a new one drops. Don't turn off that notification. But it's there to keep you organized so you can catch up. When you miss a day, you miss a lot. So when you need to catch up on some, hop on there and catch up. And share it with everybody you know in business. Butcher, baker, candlestick maker, even a bookie. We added a bookie. Okay? Whoever they are, we're going to help everybody get to the other side of this. I am here every night at more 8 than ish Eastern, live in the Narts private Facebook group. That's where you find me, live at more 8 than ish Eastern every night. If you have a question in between, I'm talking to you. You just email me, Neil, Neil at ECIstores.com, Neil at ECIstores.com. We start this program every night. Every night we start with the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book is how we start. And help our favorite nail salon, because Neil's nails don't just happen, I'm saying. We start this program every night with the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book is how we start this program. Tonight we are on page 72. 72 tonight. Things may never be like this again. That could be good news or bad news to you, but it's true nonetheless. Good morning. Our good night tonight is, everything is changing all the time. May as well lean into it. Good night. Ladies and gentlemen, there are your graphics tonight. Look at that staircase. I'm getting it in the light wrong, but it's a cool staircase. Get the book. Follow along. Oh, there. I got it better now. There. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Neil Abramson. I do like a good party, a wedding, a bar mitzvah, a brownie swap. How about a brownie swap? Brownies sound good. I don't know when we'll party again, but know that when we do, I will be there in person with you. When we can be in person, I will be there. But until then, know that you, and you, but most importantly you, yes you're not alone running this store. It's time for dessert, everybody. Have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow.